Hi friends, how you doing? It is me, Christiana Gaudet. I am your Tarot Fairy Godmother, and I'm happy to see you. Thanks for being here. It is Thursday. That means it's time for the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter Recap. Did you get the newsletter this week? If you didn't, you can go to my website. That's christianagaudet.com or tarotbychristiana.com. The link is right here in the description. You can read the newsletter. You can also subscribe so you get it in your inbox every single Wednesday. So we do a different topic each week, and then we come on here Thursday to talk about it. If you happen to be watching the replay, thank you so much for being here. Maybe this will inspire you to do some readings for yourself. I'm happy, of course, to do some readings for those who are here with me live. So the topic is everything you think you know. So here's what that comes from. I was actually thinking about that scene in Willow. Do you know the movie Willow? Apparently we can watch it again. It's on Netflix again. I haven't watched it since it came back, but I love that movie. I have probably seen it more times than any other single movie, not counting the movies that were popular in my household when my kids were little, like My Little Ponies and The Lion King and Nightmare Before Christmas. I've probably seen those movies more times than any, but by my own choice, it would be Willow. I just love that movie. And there's a scene where our protagonist Willow is wants to be chosen to be the wizard's apprentice. And the wizard starts by saying, "Forget all you know and all you think you know." And that's what I was thinking about. But then I Googled on the quote. It turns out Dr. Strange also said this. So obviously it's an important thing, right? Forget all you know and everything you think you know. And so this is what I was sort of thinking about with this week's newsletter is like, what are the things we think we know? Now, what's another word for that? Assume. We all know that assume nothing is one of the 4 agreements, and we all know what happens when you assume, right? We've all heard that. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right? That's so cute. So I wanted to, in the newsletter, I just wanted to talk about like the power of, at least for a moment, what if all these things you think are true? What if you decide they're not true? Now, maybe after some consideration, you will think, yeah, this really is true, but maybe you won't. And how does that work? And how does that change things for you? As tarot readers, we have to do this a lot because people will come in with these assumptions that they just want us to like go right along with. And the cards may say something very, very different. We also have to be careful about assuming that what the card is saying is simply its sort of classic textbook interpretation. Sometimes when reading tarot, you have to forget all you know and forget all you think you know, to allow the cards to speak in an unusual way, which they sometimes do. So let me just let's see. Let me say hi to some of the people here. Thank you all so much for being here. So, Melissa, you love Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, that was a favorite in our household when the kids were growing up. We have a lot, the grown-ups, my husband and I, still collect like a lot of the toys and memorabilia and whatnot from Nightmare Before Christmas. So some of you are thinking of really smart questions to ask around this, and that is the right thing to do. Think of a question that sort of deals with letting go of assumptions or figuring out what is really true. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Clumsy Clairvoyance. We just got a super sticker from Clumsy Clairvoyance. Clumsy Clairvoyance is a member of this channel. That means she gives a monthly support, but she is also very generous about supporting individual broadcasts as she has right here. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of our members. We know who the members are because their names are in green and they have little suns after their names. So the suns are different colors depending on how long they have been members. And I'm in the process of ordering more member badges and more member emojis. So we're gonna be able to play with some more of that kind of stuff really soon. And members, we had our first members live stream this week. It went super well, I thought. It's available if you weren't able to see it. It's available to watch. It probably is worth watching. There was a lot of good teachable stuff there, or learnable stuff, I guess, in retrospect and replay. And we will be doing that monthly. So I'll be scheduling the next one. I think for October, we'll do another deep dive, which is where I really dive deeply into readings for people and explain what my process is to sort of teach the process. And wouldn't it be fun in October if we made the questions be specifically and primarily spiritual questions and mediumship questions, and played with it that way, using tarot in those ways? So that's what we will do for our members. And that's cool. So if you have not become a member and want to be, you can join. There is a choice of 3 different levels. Choose what's right for you. I appreciate all of you for being here. If you have not already subscribed, please do. Please make sure you hit the bell so that you will get notified when I go live. And please make sure you like this video. All right. So let's get to those questions. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for asking questions. I'll take them in the order that I see them. The first is Horse Fan Dunn. So nice to see you. Thanks so much for being a member of this channel. What is true about my relationship with horses? Is the kingdom of horses okay with me? So the thing is, you have not been with horses in the way that you used to be. You are still with horses spiritually. You are Epona. You are Rhiannon. You know, you are the goddess of the horses, and there are so many. But you have not been with horses recently. The horses are okay with that, but are you? That's really the question. The connection between you and horses is spiritual, and it might be really wise for you to do some research into horse goddesses from many cultures and see what wisdom they have for you, what truth they have for you. That could be very helpful for you right now. Okay, Karen Winkle, so nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member here. What limiting belief is holding you back? You know, I think it's a real basic garden variety kind of belief that you're not enough, that you're not good enough, that you don't have the knowledge or the tools or the skills to do what needs to be done, which is funny because when you think about a particular thing and really unpack it, you recognize that you do indeed have all of those things. But there's sort of this inner tape that plays in your head that tells you you don't. If you could throw that tape away, imagine what you could do. Smile Soul 20, nice to see you. Thank you for being a member here. Joanne Smith, thanks for being a member here. You love Willow. I know, isn't it the best? And man, back in the day, Val Kilmer was so hot. Oh my gosh, Val Kilmer as Mad Mardigan. Oh, yeah, so awesome. Clumsy Clairvoyance, good morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member, and thanks for the super chat. Angelic Michelle, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Sue Wilkinson, nice to see you. Melissa, happy to see you. Jackie Masters, thanks for being here, and thank you for being a member. All right, Pamela, here's the next question I see. What ingrained patterns do I think are true that need upgrading, and how can I surrender to the changes? Okay. You know, I think it's really a skill thing, whether it's about your psychic skill, your creative skill, or those kinds of things where you don't recognize you're as good as you are and you don't know how to wear being as good as you are because you don't want to be braggadocious and you don't want to be that person who thinks you're all that. but there's got to be a sweet spot, not just for you, but for all of us, where we can be very clear about our talents, very happy and proud about our talents, encourage others, and also be humble about it. And I think that's the space you're looking for. And I think you're really stepping into that space. And I have to say, I think you are one, and you're not alone here. You are one who has a lot of sort of childhood stuff where maybe you were not allowed to be as you are or who you are, or were not encouraged to be as you are or who you are in childhood. Or maybe you were not learned how to, you did not learn how to own your talents or value your talents. Maybe that goes all the way back to childhood. But I feel like that's what you need to play with right now. Hey, Marion K. Taro, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Melissa Grosso, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. Okay. My question is, what is an assumption belief I have about myself that needs to be rethought or surrendered? Very good. The belief that you have to be perfect to be right, or that you have to be perfect in every way to be good. And that goes along with the belief that you're not good enough, the belief that you can't handle everything that you have to handle. Some of this is work related, some of this is you related, but there is within you a real perfectionistic sense, and that's good. It's good to have a high standard of excellence. But I also think that holds you back. I think sometimes you don't see the perfection in what is already perfect. And I think sometimes you think that you have to wait for perfection to get it out there. And so I would really look at your relationship with perfectionism and how is that serving you and how is it not? Mystics Haven, nice to see you. What assumptions or beliefs may be obstacles in my path? I wonder if there's a specific obstacle that is caused by an assumption or belief around relationship stuff. Whether it's about your worthiness for a relationship or your happiness within a relationship or your ability to have a happy relationship. I feel like there's some stuff specifically around relationship stuff, and maybe most specifically around romantic relationship stuff that may need to be transmuted. Oh, thanks for the kind word about the newsletters, Horse Fan Dunn. What does she say? She says, your newsletters are really, really good and helpful. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Joanne Smith, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. What if I do just go with the flow of this whole retirement thing? I fear it, right? Well, yeah, it's different than anything you've ever done in your whole life, and you've always been like the industrious one. What if you just go with the flow of being retired? Then you could be really, really happy in your home and with your family and with your people and doing all the things you want to do and have the blessing of your ancestors. That's the horrible thing that would happen. Why don't you try that and see where it takes you? Seriously. Seriously. Hey, Christina R., nice to see you. What limiting belief is holding me back? So the High Priestess has come up, and that was actually one of the cards that came up from Alyssa around perfectionism. I very often associate the High Priestess with perfectionism, but I also associate the High Priestess with nursing. And I know you're in an advanced nursing program right now. And I think sometimes you have limiting beliefs about I don't think you have beliefs about your ability to be good in your job. But I think sometimes you have limiting beliefs about the academic portion of it and your ability to get through the academic portion. And I think sometimes you believe things are hard when they're really not. I think sometimes when things really are hard, you think they're only hard for you and not for everyone. And so I think you can come into a lot of anxious, negative self-talk around the academic portion of your journey. And I think that just makes things harder, truly. Hey, Von Ray, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. Teresa Gibson, nice to see you. Von Ray, here's your question. What limiting beliefs are keeping me back? Very good. Great question. All of them? No, seriously. I feel like you have a particular way of seeing yourself in terms of how you interact with others that makes you feel that you have not been seen, that you have not been heard, that you have not been understood. And in some cases, that may well be true. But do not let those experiences and those feelings keep you from presenting yourself in such a way that it is possible for people to see you and know you and hear you and understand you. You know, there's always going to be, some jerks around who aren't going to get you. But there are plenty of people who can and who do. And do not hold yourself back from those interactions. Okay, here's the question from Angelic Michelle. Will starting my own tarot reading business be spiritually in alignment with my path? I think so. But I also wonder if you have limiting beliefs around that, or if there are people around you who have beliefs around that that could limit you. So I think you would really want it. You would want it. You would want to do the work. You would have to really want it, the upside of it as well as the downside, in order to make it worthwhile. Like, it's not the kind of thing you can do halfway. You can do it part-time, but you have to dive in the pond all the way. You can't just dabble in that pond. You have to dive in all the way, and you have to own it thoroughly. And so I think it would be really good, but be ready to be immersive with it in that way, and be ready for the disapproval of some people around you, even spiritual people. Tarot is like the redheaded stepchild at the spiritual table. So be ready for all of that, and own it anyway. And if you can do that, I think it's going to be great. Okay, Teresa Gibson. Will I need to have another surgery to stabilize my right femur, or will it resolve on its own? All right, probably not exactly within our topic scope, but what the heck, since we're talking about assumptions and what we know and what we don't know, let's see what we can know about this. Absolutely. Will I need to have another surgery to stabilize my right femur, or will it resolve on its own? Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but my guess is within about 3 months, if your doctor's willing to wait that long, it could very well stabilize on its own. Okay, Clumsy Clairvoyance, thank you for being here. Thank you for the super sticker. Thanks for being a member. This is a great question. Which of my beliefs are actually good for me? Oh, I love that. That just took that question and turned it right around. That is lovely. And, I don't know if this is a belief, it's just an observation I have about you, that you're very good at discerning truth from fiction and truth from bullshit. And I think you know that about yourself. And that is true and good for you. You also recognize that science and spirituality can coexist. And that is good for you. You also recognize that along the path, we are always learning and always growing. And that is good for you. And you are very good at finding the creativity within anything. And that's very good. And I think you hold a belief about the ups and downs, that, the wheel is always turning. Yes, we do have this as one of our cards here. The wheel is always turning. And when you're up, you're up. When you're down, you're down. But the wheel will turn again. And I think you're good at riding that wheel and just having the belief that, it may suck a lot right now, but it'll get better. And when it gets better, we can just enjoy it, because eventually it's going to suck again. And that's okay, because it's all part of the process. Okay, Martha Vink, nice to see you. What is true about my connection with my current church? I'm so insecure about my standing with the people here. I think that's because these have been trying times, and people everywhere are divided. And people have a lot of time on their hands, too much time on their hands, so they do one of this. Are there some rabble-rousing people trying to organize against you? Yes, that's happening. Are there also people who really like you standing up for you? Abso-freaking-lutely, yes. Is this worse than what's happening in any other church with any other pastor? Probably not. Given the amount of time you've been at this church and given the pandemic, I feel like I feel like this is happening in a lot of churches. It would probably be helpful to talk to your district superintendent and maybe to some other pastors and look for strategies. But the key, if anything, is to step up, not down or to the side. Hey, Kelly Donick, nice to see you. Are any of my beliefs or ideas hindering the manifestation of a wonderful move and wonderful new job? I think there is sort of a belief that is, well, you know what it is. It's a fear couched as a belief, couched as a fear that you're not going to find anything good and it's going to be terrible and you haven't handled things well and you're in a bad position and it's really not a good thing. And I think you can go off into this anxious loop that sounds a lot like that. Maybe don't do that. Let that one go. And I think you'll find things happen more freely. Okay, Betty Fleischer, so nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. What is true? What is my true gift I have to help others, if any? I think you're good at helping people see their own power. I think you're good at helping people make decisions. I think you are good at helping people feel connected to their ancestors. You know, all of these are traits of a good tarot reader, just saying. Just saying. Okay, and thank you all for the feedback. I really do appreciate it. Jackie Masters, thanks for being here and thanks for being a member. What can I do to move past my assumptions and rewrite my story? I felt I've let them run my life. And what are they? Yeah, I think, you know, I was well in my 50s when I finally recognized these assumptions that I didn't even know I knew. But they were the truths that were running my life that weren't truth at all. And once I figured it out, I just kind of shrugged it off. I was like, done. And things have been so much better since then. So, you know, sometimes it takes us a minute. That's really the thing. So what are some of your assumptions? I think a lot of it has to do with guilt and shame, feeling not enough, not good enough in a lot of different ways. Feeling like you need to try to blend in more when you're really your unique and wonderful self. Stuff like that. What can you do to move past it? Find out what the core of it is. Where did it come from? Who said what to you when that really stuck with you and that made you create this entire narrative? Figure that out. Recognize that whatever was being said certainly was not being said to build this oppressive narrative. And once you figure that out, then you can just let it go. Okay. Oh, Horse Van Dunn, do I have an email from you? I will absolutely check it. Very cool. Thank you. And Moonlight Tarot, what will Adele do in regards to us? Is that really what his intention is? What should I know about him? And I think this does sort of fit into our theme because it is about assumptions. A lot of assumptions have been made here. And I mean, I feel like he's doing now what he did before. I think this is a case of once you see how someone is, then you know how they are. Okay, thank you so much for the feedback. Really appreciate it. Ali Mammon, do you mean embody beginner's mindset for anything we learn when you say everything we think we know? That's part of it, certainly. Certainly. But it's also about assumptions. You know, I have people come to this table and they'll start with, my husband is really a good man. And that's their assumption. That's what they think they know. And I'm looking at the cards and man, I'm seeing he's disrespectful toward them. He abuses them. And, you know, so I see these in the cards and I sort of gently check, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? So what part of good man am I missing here? You know, so sometimes it's those things too, the things you think you know, the things you think you know about yourself that are limiting beliefs that are holding you back. All right. From my perspective, I've answered every question here. If I accidentally missed you, I am so sorry. Please do reiterate. If you've just come in and haven't asked, it is last call for readings, y'all. I will be back tomorrow. Okay, Allie Mammon, here it is. What are my blocks or mindsets against opening my psychic talents? Very good. You know, I think for you, you may have some beliefs about what it should be or how it should manifest or what it should feel like. And in wanting those things, you're missing the very real way that you do communicate with spirit. I think you need to, you mentioned beginner's mindset, and I think that would be really helpful. And you need to recognize that spirit speaks differently with every person and differently with every person at different times. And so learn how spirit speaks to you rather than waiting for spirit to speak to you the way you think spirit should. That's what I'd have to say about that. Because I think it's already happening. All right, my friends. Thank you so much. I do want to let you know I have some openings for readings today, tomorrow, over the weekend. You can schedule directly on my website, christianagaudet.com or tarotbychristiana.com, or you can just reach out to me. Get ready to take down a phone number because I'm going to give it to you. 561-655-1160, call or text. You can also reach out to me, private message me on any of the social media I'm on. And I will look forward to speaking with you all. And as I said, I will be, I did not miss you. We spoke specifically about the situation. What I said, Moonlight Tarot, is you know exactly what this situation is because you've been here before. It's exactly the same thing as it was before. You know, and this person will keep playing this game with you over and over and over again. All right, my friends, please do reach out. I'll be back here tomorrow at noon. I will look forward to seeing you. Thank you all so much for being here. Take really good care. Make sure you like this video. If you have not subscribed, please do. Make sure you hit the bell so that you can be alerted when I'm going live. And I'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.